I'd be lying if I didn't say it was a fair amount of swearing just now when I hit the wrong button. Anyway, I was talking about test statistics for part one. Go see the other video if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, screen share. Let's come back to this. Where were we? We said that no matter how you calculate the test statistic, whether you use the floating point sampling, the floating point standard, or the rounded versions of either, you get somewhere between 2.39 and 2.42 for your test statistic, any of which is greater than your critical value of 2.326, which means you would reject the null and you accept the research. I know a bunch of people, just by how things have been done in the past, and looking at them when you handed your quizzes in, may have put more information than was required for here, including both the null and the research hypothesis. I only asked for the research hypothesis. If your research hypothesis is correct, then I give you credit here. If it's not, then I don't. You don't get extra credit for putting both hypotheses in here. If your null or your research have flipped inequality signs, that's still not right, so I can't give you full credit. That's what the research hypothesis is. And when it comes down here and it says, what's your decision regarding the research hypothesis? The answer I'm looking for is that you have evidence to support and accept the research hypothesis. You should be rejecting the null. This is one of those situations where I will also reject the null here. Even though your decision regarding the research should be that rejecting the null implies that you failed to reject the research and accept the research, I will accept reject the null here. But if I don't see that in your research hypothesis, I cannot give you credits. Keep these things lined up. If your answer to part I was found to be wrong, what type of error did you commit? Well, all I'm asking here is if you know the types of error, and if you accept the research hypothesis, the only type of error you could have committed here is a type 1. As we see, the critical value is only slightly less than the test statistic. That this value and this value aren't all that different. So because you chose an alpha of 0.01, which is a pretty, where did you do that? Yeah, right here. That's a pretty conservative alpha, which means there's only 1 in 100 shot that you made this type of error, type 1 error. So I think we're pretty good. I don't think that's a type 1 error that we've committed here. If we had a larger sample